a show of hands, how many people did not enjoy studying history? I'm the only one. I had a teacher in the 6th grade, Mrs. Gray. She was elderly. As a matter of fact, she had taught my father in grade school, and he was 40 years older than I. And she insisted on memorizing date after date. Napoleon Bonaparte defeated at Waterloo, 18th of June, 1815. It doesn't tell you a hell of a lot, does it? Why was he defeated? Was it the 17th or the 19th? Did his troops turn around and run? They raise a white flag. Anyway, we're talking about a date today, 23rd of February, 1945. I didn't have to memorize that date. I told my wife I'd like to be married on the 23rd of February. And she said, why? I said, so I'll always remember when Joe Rosenthal took a picture up on Mount Suribachi. I'm not sure she bought that. But I can tell you in all the years we've been married, I've never missed an anniversary. Marine Corps is in taking the picture that Joe Rosenthal took on Suribachi as an icon. I think it's an icon probably now second only to the globe and anchor. But they have never yet told the true story. There's been about 7 booklets put out, primarily pointed towards the flag raising. The last one was 1995, and with this one they got the closest that they've been to why there was a second flag. They have named the name of the officer, our battalion commander, Lieutenant Colonel Chandler Johnson, who had the 2nd Battalion, 28th Marines. They have named him as the one who ordered the flag. Actually, they haven't told you about the second flag, and they haven't even explained why we put the first flag up. Normally, the Marine Corps goes in, they take over their objective island, and after they secure it, they put up a flag. Now, this flag went up 5th day in a battle of 36 days, and I'd like to explain that a little bit today. In about November of 1944, our battalion commander called us into the war room, brought the battalion staff and 3 company commanders. The center of the room was a table, and there was a mock-up of an island, and it had a little sign that said Iwo Jima. We'd never heard of it. It was about 5.5 feet long, representing 5.5 miles, as you've seen in the movie here, and about 2.5 miles across. Now, it was pork chop shaped, and don't try to say that fast. About 2.5 miles long or wide, as said at the northern end. We walked in and we looked at it, and it's probably what they term today as shock and awe. How are we going to climb that volcano 555 feet high, let alone fight your way up? Now, you can figure that's about the same height as a 60-story skyscraper. The intelligence officer was briefing us, why do you have to take Iwo Jima? Well, it's 700 miles south of Japan, 700 miles north of Saipan and Tinian. Saipan and Tinian, where the B-29 bombers were stationed. To get to Japan, they had to fly right by Iwo Jima, either over it or beside it. And on Iwo Jima, you had Japanese fighters. You had a radio that was notifying the Japanese islands of the arrival of the B-29 bombers. Once they got past the fighters at Iwo, they met the fighters in Japan. Once they dropped the bombs and turned south, they again met the fighters in Iwo Jima because they'd refueled and rearmed. The losses were unacceptable, and this was the reason for taking Iwo Jima. Once we got the island, we could put our P-51 long-range fighters there, and they could accompany the B-29s into Japan. We also put air sea rescue on the island. Some people have seen a book out, and also an article that said that Iwo Jima wasn't necessary, but you can't tell that to the Army Air Corps people. First B-29 landed, emergency landing, on the 4th of March while the battle was taking place. The 4th of March till the middle of August, about 5 months, I think, the end of the war, there were 2,200 B-29s landed at Iwo Jima, and this represents 24,000 Army